what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
Sorry about that. I forgot I still had my Guitar Hero guitar there. You didn't see that, did you, Dominic? We did Bohemian Rhapsody. All three of us with Guitar Hero guitars. It was amazing. It got banned from YouTube.
Yeah, I can gather. Yeah,
there might be
something about inciting violence.
Copyright sort of thing. Anyway, hello. Welcome to the Flash and Blood podcast. I'm Siobhan. Diametrically opposed to me in that way is Dominic.
Hello.
Okay. He is in there somewhere. In fact, he's starting to remind me a little bit of David Bellamy, if I'm honest with you. Could you just say "Gwapple me grape nuts" for me, please?
Gwapple me grape nuts.
Thank you very much. That'll do me. That's good. Beneath me.
Quite literally, yeah.
Well, I'm further south than you. Anyway, that's Eddie.
Hello.
And the tit with the CSO behind him is Brian.
It's a good CSO, though.
It is a good one.
The rest of the world calls it green screen or chroma at most. We still call it color separation.
Every week I'm on here, all I have for background are my Transformers. Now I have something actually Doctor Who related.
Transformers and Doctor Who related. Remember, Death's Head came via Doctor Who to get into the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Face it, it's still a better effect than most of the Tomorrow people, so.
Ooh, he's being harsh there. Oh.
Don't make me go into hyperspace.
Am I wrong?
Okay. No. We're going to leave Brian's last on this one because I think he may have a lot to say. Eddie, how was your week?
It's been good. It's been a week of quite busy at work after the Christmas break, but yeah, it makes for a better day. Quick day. Apologies. I was a bit late joining this before you actually started because I just finished the big finish because we had a little kind of heating scare that our heating wasn't working upstairs. But so me running about with a key to try and unbleed radiators, which is always quite funny. But we're back. We've got heating on.
Only wimps have heating.
Yeah, exactly.
I say that because I can't afford it. Oh, couldn't. I've got to get this sorted out. Dominic, how was your week, love?
It's been a busy one, that's for sure.
What have you been up to? Tell us. Tell people what they can see and hear.
Well, basically, I did a bit of a video on the racism within the Doctor Who community.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as that, the handling of the fugitive Doctor within the show and how it can be seen as potentially, if it's not handled well in the future, it could be seen as tokenistic casting.
Yes.
So that happened, and it got quite a bit of an uproarious reception, mostly positive. Thank goodness for that.
Thank goodness.
And
you can swear on here, love. Don't worry.
Fantabulous. Right. I just couldn't even force one out there.
Fantabulous. That's a great word. We're going to have to use that word later on tonight, I think. You up for that, boys? Shall we use fantabulous at some stage?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll do that then.
This week's new word, fantabulous.
Fantabulous.
I'm addicted to Ribena.
So... Oh, Ribena. Nice. I like Ribena.
I finally found something that... long story. Anyway, Brian, much been happening around where you live?
Oh, the usual things. Grown adults being toddlers, trying to take over the government.
Of course, yes.
Riots.
So Thursday, then?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's nearly over, love. It'll move into a different
10
phase,
days.
but this phase is nearly
10
over.
days. It'll go into something new, but 10 days. That's all we got to do, survive 10 days.
10 days.
10 days without nuking someone or starting a war.
Well, Pelosi basically
you can make it.
Around and asked the chief of staff to remove the football from him. Because you're not sure. There's still rumours he's probably going to try something with Iran before he leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's Fortunately, there are adults in the room.
The question is why? I mean, it's scorched earth, essentially, isn't it? It's the end of, Series 4 of Babylon 5.
It's the whole, I can't have it, no one else
Nobody
is going to
can.
have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is the toddler tantrum.
Yes.
No, I will break up my favourite toy because I don't want anybody else to have it.
We just want to avoid a Doctor Strangelove incident.
I don't know. I'd kind of like to see him mounted on a tomahawk and launch.
Yeah, but the thing is, I love the guy's hat. The Texans hat.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, and he gives it full prominence on the way down. I love that film. I really adore that film. There are scenes in it with a guy playing the Russian ambassador in the war room. He's trying so hard to keep a straight face, but Sellers is just killing him. Ah, dear. What sort of week have I had?
What have you had?
A football-related thing.
Ooh,
those
so
are two-
sports ball.
Football?
Ah,
Yeah. It's only happened today. You see, I live in Crawley. And there was something called the Football Association Cup. They have it every year
Yes.
to see who wins, and no one ever wins because it happens again the following year, and it's just going to go on forever. But anyway, Leeds United, who are a Premier League team, sort of big posh bids, came down to Crawley to play Crawley in the FA Cup, and Crawley are League Two. So there's sort of about 2 or 3 leagues beneath them, and
nerve-wracking.
Crawley beat them 3-0.
Really?
What an upset.
Now, I knew nothing of this because I don't follow football. I mean, I used to steward down at the thingy, but well, as it is, they don't have anybody watching anymore. No, the joyous part about this was finding out on Facebook from Karen Dunn and her son that something had happened. And I asked and got told. And then I phoned my brother. My brother is a huge Leeds United fan. And I may have done some laughing. Quite a bit of it, actually. I literally just phoned him up to laugh at him. He was expecting it. But, I mean, because I'm not a football fan, I leave that to him and Dad and Nina, my sister. That's just, nope. I do the sci-fi, the weird shit, all right? Everything else, you got to sort out yourself when it comes to football. So that was fun. Yeah, I've also had plans through for what they're going to do out the back in my garden. Sort of a little raised area that I can just go straight through to. It's going to be really nice, I think. All right then, so... I'm trying to think if anything else has happened.
If you're talking football, It was Marine versus Tottenham Hotspurs, and Marine are not even Division 2, they're Division 42.
Scottish League Division 42.
Yeah, well, that's Marine. I don't know where they're actually based, but it was a team of their lead striker's a PE teacher, their defender's a bin man, and they were playing Tottenham Hotspurs. Did they? I have no idea if they get bet. I'm going to assume that they did. Probably about 46-0. But
sorry, I'm now starting to think of Michael Palin, ripping yarns. I wish I could remember what the episode is. This obsessed football fan. Hey, we got an American with us. You might be able to answer me something here.
Oh, God.
Why do you, not you specifically, but you, America, call table football foosball?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just... It was the name they gave it. Just smile and nod. It's foosball.
Was saying table football just too much effort?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Because of course it isn't table football for you, is it? It's table soccer.
Table soccer, yeah.
You see, this is where you're going wrong.
Well,
this is
our
where it
football
all leads to. You've
apparently
seen this week where all this leads to.
Apparently, there was another football thing in America this week where the Bills are doing well, and I don't watch football, so I couldn't tell you more than that.
Okay. Well, that's
The
good.
Buffalo Bills apparently are doing quite excellent this
Hey,
year.
we've extended our remit here. We're
Our
covering
Balder
sports.
sports section.
Yeah, we've
Exactly.
got
Covering
sports
sports
What's going on?
to the
I'm
best
worried.
of our ability.
I'm
Yeah.
scared.
I'm proud of us. I am. We're not afraid to do anything new
if
round
anybody
here.
gets interested, Marine get bet 5-0. So no surprises there.
Crawley didn't. Right, so I think we should do what we came here for. I've got to try and work out how many. Which one of these bastards is it? It's this one. Here we go. Hang on, go to library. And then who's section opening? Let me say. And now from the world's BBC television's Doctor Who, it's Doctor Who. I never knew when I put that piece of music together I was going to love it quite so much. There you go. Sorry. Self-praise is no praise. Right, so, we did television watching. Because currently there's fuck all else to do. Though I have been doing some more reading. I'll come on to that later. So we're at the circus. Anybody remember circuses?
Oh, the Kelvin Hall Circus in Glasgow. Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yep.
Every Christmas or bank holiday, there'd be a circus show on BBC One.
Christmas in Glasgow, you would get the Kelvin Hall Circus. And my brother, who a football fan, was given money by my mum and dad to take me to the Kelvin Hall Circus. Took me to a shitty football match, gave me some bovril, paid me some money to keep my mouth shut, and then he used it for the money for the pub that weekend. So I should be outed. Anyway, sorry.
You got a mug of Bovril, man. It doesn't get much better.
Oh, you ever drink
Yes.
a cup of gravy? Yuck. Horrible.
Bovril or
Never tried.
No.
You're not missing
Bovril's
anything,
good.
Dominic.
No.
It's nice. Anyway, so yes, so at the circus, there's a wheezing, groaning sound, and a square blue. No, a horse box appears. Much to the chagrin of Mr. Rossini, the circus owner, or Hugh Russell, as we find out his name really is. And out of the horse box steps, this saturnine figure. Oh, he's got a beard and he's got evil eyes and oh dear, evil jacket.
Wait, is he dressed in black?
Yes. You see? It's Terror of the Autons. We're doing it because it's the 50th anniversary of the Master. And Joe and Captain Yates, to be fair. And also it'll tie in with Masterful, the Big Finish audio we're going to be looking at afterwards. The Master decides he's going to summon the Nestines back, nicks a Yeti egg, and basically just starts the whole process up again, making Autons and this, that, and the other. However, the Master's got a bit of a beef with the Doctor, who, throughout this story, is in the most foul mood possible, to be fair. It goes from there. So let's go to Eddie, because Dominic will have something intelligent to say about it. And Brian's American. So Eddie.
So this episode it's classic.
Hang on, stop. I just saw Dominic's reaction to that.
Dear.
He can't help it, he was born there.
Get me out of the way.
I'm getting used to the
bits.
condescension. Don't worry, Dominic.
Yeah. So in this episode we have a figure who has a TARDIS, who has a goatee beard, who enjoys manipulating and tormenting people. Sounds a bit like somebody on this podcast.
No. I only respond to attacks.
To
be fair.
Uh-oh.
To be fair.
Genius.
I know I'm an evil
Uh-oh.
genius, but I try and level it out a little bit. I mean, have you had anything nasty recently? No, because we haven't been role playing.
Yeah, and that's
This
why
is
we're
true.
getting some good Doctor Who like this, which is really appreciated because I feel as if I'm not getting punished every Sunday.
There's
This
still the
is
bad ones to come, though. For every
is-
good one you review, a bad one is closer.
This one's is absolutely brilliant. We have Delgado debuting as the Master, and just I still say to this day, is the quintessential is the Master. There are other good
Yes.
Masters out there, but they don't come close. I'm
No,
sorry, maybe
totally
I'm because
agree.
I'm that age.
Completely agree with you.
He's suave, he's intelligent, he's conniving. He is the Moriarty to John Pertwee's Sherlock Holmes, and there's never been a pair in as good. That I'll go off my high horse, but that's I genuinely believe that. We unfortunately have the departure of Liz, and I love Liz. I thought Liz was a great companion. Liz was intelligent and equal to the Doctor. Didn't take his nonsense, but again, Joe Grant, classic character. So it's farewell to Liz, but it's a new area and a different dynamic with Joe. So really enjoyed it. We have the return of the Autons. Great jump scare in it, which I totally forgot. So I was watching a lot of this as I do late at night, and I forgot about the Auton in the safe. When he opens up the safe, I actually gave him a wee bit of a scare. And we'd watched The Nun the night before, which was full of jump scares, which I fell asleep during. So fair play. An episode of Doctor Who in 1971 scared me more than a recent horror film, which was, if you've and it would recommend it to nobody, it was terrible.
I found that modern horror films, name drop time, when I was interviewing Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat, I did indeed ask them about this, but I found that modern day horror films now go for the blood and gore factor rather than scare.
Yeah.
They've equated people spurting blood with scary.
They also go for the whole quiet bang scare. It's like there's a loud. It's just, and you get accustomed to it. It just you actually can't expect it.
And the
It's not
false
clever.
scare just before the real scare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Mr. Jones and Alien, I'm looking at you.
Mr. Jones.
The cat.
Jonesy.
Yeah, Jonesy the cat.
Jonesy the cat. You've lost me.
In
Jonesy.
Alien,
Oh, okay.
The only one to really survive, because Sigourney Weaver clearly did it.
So this is really classic. I really enjoyed it. We like I said, the dynamic. Delgado's brilliant. We have the introduction of Joe. The whole thing around this, it's the classic setup. The Master's trying to manipulate this whole scenario. He's trying to use the Nestine consciousness to get what he wants. Ultimately, it fails. We get some of the classic items, and we get to the end of this, and the Master escapes and uses a cunning ploy, and we get the whole thing around the hypnosis of the victims. Everything set up. This is classic. This is a perfect introduction to one of the best Doctor Who villains that there's been out there. Never been bettered, and this is one of my absolute favourite episodes. I'm a big mark for the John Pertwee. This is one of the better episodes that he did. Loved it. Fantastic stuff.
well, there we go. Let's not mention the CSO then.
Oh, the little jelly baby CSO. That's cute. Come on.
And
It's of
Mrs.
its
Farrell's
time.
kitchen. Mrs. Farrell's kitchen.
It's of its. I mean, it's 1971. I mean, it's 50 years ago. Although I
Barry
still
Letts
dispute-
really did love CSO, to be fair.
It's cheap, isn't
If
it?
he could
So,
get
I mean,
away
it
with
was-
it, he would use it.
Yeah, it was cheap, and there was obviously budgetary constraints. But anybody that wants an introduction, if they're not to Pertwee's Doctor, yeah, he's a bit grumpy in it, but he always was a bit cantankerous and,
And
grumpy.
threatening, basically saying, I was just saying down the club to old Tubby Rowlands the other day. Tubby, I said. And suddenly this anti-establishment figure is threatening people via their bosses because he knows them in the club. Cornell had a rant against this in DWB, I remember that. I don't know whether he's changed his opinions on it or not. I think the character's just, the Third Doctor's character in this is just slightly out.
But he's lost Liz. He's asked for a replacement. What he's got is not what he expected. and there's the element that it's so. Give him a buy. It's a Doctor. Solid.
All right, let's head across the Atlantic, over the wall, and talk to Brian, who's sitting there patiently. Hello, this is Crawley calling. Can you hear us?
Hello, Crawley.
No, they obviously can't.
Yeah, no, I like this one. This is great. Joe's first appearance. I really can't say anything bad about it. It's got the first appearance of Delgado, the first shrinking person. Sets up the Master pretty much in everything he ever does.
Yeah, but he could have just got really pissed off with the guy for moaning about having boiled eggs all the time.
He could have, but you know what? He shrunk him.
He did.
No more moaning.
And it's a good little effect, that as well, isn't it? It took
is,
ages to line up and do, but
I think I know what you're saying about the Doctor. He was getting bored on Earth.
Yes.
And the Master's there, and at the end you see, and I'm looking quite forward to it. He's got someone to play chess with now.
yeah,
And
that's
the chessboard is the entire planet. Plus, at the end of it, he's stolen the Master's dematerialization circuit. So now, technically, if he wires that into his console,
it'll blow up.
potentially leave.
No, it's a Mark II.
No.
It's a Mark II.
Sorry. They thought of that one,
circuit.
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want him to go, do they?
No.
Not yet.
But it means he's trapped his nemesis. And again, like you said, his chess partner on Earth.
He's trapped someone who he can play with,
Yes.
who can play at the same level as him. That's why he was cranky the entire time.
Let us now move over to the intelligent one amongst us.
Hello.
Someone's got their
Come on,
confidence.
it was a process of elimination. You were generally just coming to me anyway. You could have said the dumbest enough to say hello.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that about you. I've met
No,
these
no.
two. Rightio. Dominic, do you have anything intelligent to say about Terror of the Autons?
Well, I mean, because I watched it earlier today. It reminded me how much of a story of first and introductions it is. Obviously, it's the debut of season 8. It's the introduction to the Master, introduction to Yates and Joe, as you said, and it's sort of the existence of the former being the Master. I mean, in this story, introduces the latter, being Joe, as sort of a liability, because she gets herself into some scrapes, gets herself hypnotized in episode 1, and what was I going to say?
You're getting older.
Get my brain back. That's it. Liz Shaw. Yeah, Liz Shaw. I was going to say Liz Shaw. I did feel the departure was. I wish they didn't just, buy her, basically.
Yep.
I wish she actually got a nice goodbye at the end of the last season, or at least the beginning of this season with the Doctor.
I can't remember if it was. I think it might have been a mutual thing, but they'd done it, and Barry Letts wasn't happy with the idea of a smart-ass woman.
I remember that.
But
as
at the same
well.
time, I think see, there's a similar story with, was it Mary Tam or Louise Jameson? I think she turned out to be pregnant as well. I could be mixing up stories from different people. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess they wanted a bit more of an intellectual step down for the audience surrogate. So they got Joe in, whose first impression is immediately screwing up an experiment.
ham-fisted bun vendor.
Although I did admittedly love the Brigadier's sass during that, but it was like, you'll have to tell her yourself.
Yes.
It was just like, can you really? No, you can't. Get this. But of course, we have the Master, the wonderful Roger Delgado.
May I ask you a question about this?
Oh?
You are the youth here.
Hello.
And because we sort of grew up with Delgado's Master up to a point, we always consider him to be the classic master. You can't beat him. But of course, you haven't. You've had the new masters to contend with. Now, obviously, you can go back and watch the old ones, DVDs and everything. But how do you think Delgado compares to the new breed?
I mean, you're asking someone whose favourite master is Anthony Ainley, so I'm kind of a bit more. Ainley's my guy as opposed to the new masters, but looking at Delgado in comparison to the new masters, I would say that Delgado has that sort of dignified sanity about him that the new masters tend not to have, because you've got John Sim, Gomez, Dewan. They're all categorically insane, and they all have these very whimsical movements. They're all very yes, right, about them. Well, maybe not Gomez to that extent, but she's crazy in her own way.
Oh, yes.
When it comes to Delgado, though, he's very sensible. He's very measured. He's very calculated. He's not even at the Ainley level of the evil chuckle yet. He's just he's playing the role completely straight, and I think that makes him probably the most terrifying of them all.
I mean, you look forward to him turning up, but at the same time, you're scared of him turning up.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm happily going to put Delgado as my second fave master. I mean, I know, because
Sorry, I wasn't asking you to do that, but I was just wondering.
No.
You know.
But I'm just after rewatching, I'm just like, this guy really gets the role. He was the first one, but he's really sold it. And I believe that if they took a bit more cues for his later incarnations, I guess with the experiences that he'd gone through after turning crispy, I guess it kind of destabilized him a little bit. I feel that they would probably have a little bit more menace to them, because, I mean, I do like Sim in the Moffat era because he did seem a little less unhinged.
Yeah.
And that was a very good way to take it. And I believe Sim himself didn't appreciate the madcap, wacky way that Rusty Davis wrote his master. As well as that, further to that, Jacoby's always left a stronger impression with me before even the War Master.
Oh, very much so. I mean, just those couple of minutes in Utopia, and it's I mean, it obviously Knight of the Realm acting here. Suddenly, this affable old man's gone, and the coldness in his eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was so perfectly handled. Even though it's just a couple of minutes, he was easily my favorite new master. And the War Master boxers have just solidified that, to be honest.
We'll come back to him.
And yeah, also, as well as that, like the final plot twist, as Brian, you alluded to, with a bit with the Doctor's like smiling, being like, I'm looking forward to this. I did love the little twist, because imagining how that would be to the audience at the time, you're seeing this new antagonist, you see him hold his hands up, he gets shot, you're like, could that be it? And then it's like, pulls back the mask and it's like, oh no, now we know what we're in for. We're in for a real trickster here. And I thought that was really good.
Cool.
One final note as well about, I don't know why, Siobhan, you might know why, but I noticed they changed back to the Troughton theme.
You'll notice during the first two series of Pertwee were a bit experimental with their opening titles. Spearhead does one thing, then it's Doctor Who and the Silurians as an actual title. Ambassadors of Death.
Yeah,
know?
The sting and then...
Yeah. And then with Inferno, it fades out to volcanic footage. Over here, they're still using the Troughton version of the theme, even though they do have the original, because I think it was played on Spearhead.
Yeah, it was. I checked, and it was.
I don't know. I did they just get sent the wrong tape to play on? The wrong.
Quite
I
possible,
don't know.
really.
That'd be interesting. Ask Mark Ayres about that. I was going to ask you something, and I can't remember what it was now. What was the point you made before that one?
Oh, that was about the Jacoby Master.
Right. No. Yes. No, I can't remember what I was going to say. Doesn't matter. Oh, dear. Can we sort of give this one the thumbs up?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Very good.
This is cool. Like I say, shouty Pertwee, but which makes me think it's possibly not the best introduction, because the Doctor is a little bit out of character.
He can be seen as a little condescending at times.
Yeah,
I
that's what
still
mean.
stand
Well,
by
that's, he's stuck on a planet full of idiots.
putting grains.
Yeah.
I get grouchy at work the same reason.
I still say the quintessential Pertwee is Claws of Axos. It's just got everything. So, yeah. However, we also listened to Masterful from Big Finish, celebrating 50 years of the Master, where everybody and his son turns up, except for James Dreyfus. The Master has won. He has finally won. The Doctor's dead, and he now rules the universe. He may have fucked it up whilst doing it, though. That's the slight problem. However, he doesn't give a damn about that because he's won. Finally, he's won. So he invites his previous selves to come and celebrate with him and divvy up the fair share. One person who didn't get invited was Missy, and she's not particularly happy about that. Let's be honest here, but she does turn up. And those first minutes, that first part certainly, where you've got the room full of them interacting, including Ainley's Master. And John Cultural Fair Dues, he pulls out the stops for this story, because he's not just playing Ainley's Master, he's also playing Chameleon, and Chameleon as the third Doctor. Which, that doesn't give away any plot spoilers, by the way. Don't worry, we've got to be careful on this one. And so they realise that because the Master screwed it up, they've got to try and save the universe now. However, they're not the only ones who've noticed this, because the Unbound Master, played by Sam Kisgard, has noticed, and he's not very happy about it, and he thinks the best way he can do anything is to conquer Gallifrey, so he does. Like you do, basically. This is a joyous production. Shows Jo Grant off to be one smart little cookie, using her appearance of naivety and innocence and maybe not being that bright, using it to manipulate. And the person she manipulates should be bloody ashamed of themselves. She should have known better, quite frankly. But no, Jo's wonderful in this. Because remember, it's not just celebrating 50 years of the Master. You've got Jo as well. And I don't know why they didn't celebrate Captain Yates by any chance. Well, there we go. Yeah, this is... Well, I heartily recommend it. Let's move straight to Dominic. We'll go back the other way round this time.
Nice.
You see?
Okie dokie. Well, Masterful, obviously, as you said, it was that big old anniversary celebration. And I think it was really, in terms of concept, it was ambitious.
Yeah.
And, oh, well, I mean, it was literally every Master apart from Bob Dreyfus. Thank God.
What a shame.
What a pity, never mind.
I love the excuse for not having Delgado there.
It was genius. That was absolutely genius.
Which we're not going to say.
No.
But it's a case of... And they all turn round and tip their hat by saying, he really was the wiliest of us all, wasn't he?
And it ties into that first appearance. It was beautifully done.
Yeah. Sorry, Dominic, please.
That's okay. And as well, obviously, no impersonation from Culshaw, I assume, and Dewan as well because of rights.
They haven't yet got the Whittaker era rights. They will
eventually. But I can safely say I very much enjoyed what I did. What I was listening to. I mean, it's extraordinary how seemingly well developed that the interpersonal relationships between the Masters are right from the get-go. Like, as soon as the episode just begins, you're just full of a lot of, like, a banter. And we got Jacoby starting off as being, like, what deemed like the Prince of the Masters. He's automatically asserting himself. He's taking command of the whole ship. And then Sim comes in,
Hello.
and he's like, "Hello, I've won. I am basically your god." And then it's ridiculous how good he is instantly. And then Missy comes in, an even older master. And then you're just blown away by her just madcap sense of comedy, and it's just exceptionally well performed by everyone involved. But as you said, I have to give special mention to Katie Manning, who just really held her own against all this talent, and was just so delightful, adorable. But I found her involvement here to just be pretty perfect, considering it's also her anniversary story as well. And she is the first companion that the Master met on screen. So I feel that is all just incredibly well done.
Yep, completely agree with you. So that's closed down debate. Brian.
This was a great story. You had Missy and Joe and John Sims Master and all the others together. You even had the Eric Roberts Masters.
Oh, I kept forgetting. Yes, of course, Eric Roberts.
He's in it. I actually liked him.
Good.
It was good. I liked the story. I liked the vampiric puddle of goo.
You can use your own imaginations for that, folks, until you
The
listen
Doctor
to the
would
show.
never say that. The Doctor would
Exactly.
never say that.
The Doctor would never say that. And I loved how Missy was constantly breaking the fourth wall.
It's so good.
Just at a random point in time, she'll just say something and it'll be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Gonna be
But it
so
had
good.
everything it needed to have in this. And I love how at one point the Master realizes if the Doctor was here, he would have sorted it all out by now.
Yeah.
He would have pulled everybody together and it would have been done.
And they might have had a chance to sort of turn tables on him at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've lost Dominic.
Oh no, sorry. I was
Still
just
there.
my dad texted me, so just had to respond.
Oh,
He's
yes,
like,
your thing
I
does
can't
a thing,
join you
doesn't
yet.
it?
Because they're watching Beat the Jesus, and they were like, "Come down." I'm like, I can't.
Eddie,
Dad, I'm doing a show.
Do it, me.
Eat the
Eddie.
Chasers. We watch The Wheel in this house. We prefer The Wheel. Pointless.
I don't watch any of them.
Oh,
Oh.
pointless.
We're a pointless.
Mortal enemy.
Okay, need to sort this out off screen.
I'm watching Mountain Monsters. I have no room to talk.
That escalated quickly. But Eddie, I was going to ask you something. Yes,
Yes.
you're fresh from listening to it.
I finished it with minutes to spare before we went on air. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's why I came to you last. You'll still have a memory of what it was like. That's Neddy, by the way, or was. So talk to me, Eddie.
Right. This is just really, really good because obviously there's a few things going on in the house. I'm not going to bore anybody with, but I was listening up right to the last minute. It's a big finish in 3 acts. The first act, we get the Masters introduced, and then we have that huge get together. And as Brian and Dominic said, it's the whole banter piece. They're all vying for position. They're all trying to show that they're the alpha character. Missy is in full-blown pantomime villainesque and deliberate pantomime villainesque mode, and it's fantastic.
Am I right? Did I read it right that they recorded all her scenes in one day, and it was distanced as well because she's over Vancouver. I think she's doing Sabrina or something.
If they did, that's fantastic. That's amazing.
Yeah, I
You just
think it
couldn't
was
cut the scenes.
like that. I mean, God Almighty, that's a lot of work to put into a single day.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's again. You would never have gathered that from listening to it. The second act was my favourite part in all this because the Masters are skipped up and they're kind of paired off, and so you get Alex McQueen's Master with I don't know the young boy's act.
Toby Young? No, not Toby Young. Hang on. Milo Clancy? No.
So I'm not sure. Well, I'm not aware any has any episodes, but I take it he's like young Master. So it's like young.
Basically, he's just setting out. He's very innocent compared to the others, but
Yes.
he's still got his bits.
And that kind of dynamic between him and Alex McQueen dealing with the refugees and how both sets of Masters want to deal with it, that was just a brilliant dynamic, and it was really, really well played. So that was up there in terms of the master parents I really liked. The other one that was really good is, and again, you alluded to it, Brian. Eric Roberts is brilliant in this, and it's Eric Roberts and Jeffrey Beavers.
Wants to come to that, yes.
Oh, and it's just that is just heart wrenching. It's we see as you referred to by Missy, the Scabby Master. I just love. I love how just Gomez puts in kind of Scottish references there that just great. So we have his master having a kind of retribution story, and Eric Roberts master just will not have that, and totally it's seriously I'm saying no more.
Doesn't he?
It is brilliant. We have Sims and we have Sims and Jacoby together, which it was good, but I kept coming back, and as they branched off, I kept waiting for the Beavers Eric Roberts story to come back. I just thought that was great. That could have been a standalone Big Finish on its own. I just think from that bit more.
Yeah.
And then we have the big payoff where Chameleon brings everything back together, and I'm going to say no more than that. And it's a case of, can the masters coexist? Well, you can figure that one out for yourself.
Jacoby warns them early on by saying he's probably the most experienced of them because he's been in the war.
Yeah.
And he warns them. He warns them, Julius. He warns them. Sorry. Flashback to Twitch there for a second. They were great, those little between episode idents that Twitch did.
Part 2 of this was the bit I enjoyed the most. I just wanted more of that. And if Big Finish are going to branch off and give us more of stuff like that, albeit they couldn't have done a 50th celebration for the Master any better. I thought this would be perfect. Honestly.
Yep, totally agree with that. The Jeffrey Beavers Master, he came over as Eeyore. He really did. I mean, it's explained right at the start the amount of pain he's in.
Yeah.
And that was just...
You know, the absolute best part of this was Missy explaining to Joe why they had to why they had cats on computers in a library. Joe's like, well, let's go to the library. Why do we want to download pictures of cats and puppies and stuff? It's like, what?
But Joe's instant reaction is, no, we go to the library because the Doctor and I always go to a library and we'll always find a book with a clue in it.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, Big Finish have given me a new appreciation for Eric Roberts Masters.
I agree.
I thought I would never ever have said.
I agree.
They did for him what was done for me for the Sixth Doctor. They've redeemed him in my eyes.
Yeah. Alex McQueen's Master, it's prompted me to go and have a look back and find out more about him. And it's the same with
He's a
the young
pompous
Master.
ass, isn't he?
Totally.
The young Master is new.
Yeah.
New for this. So, but there's no back catalogue.
Oh, right. Okay.
So,
Maybe there'll be a front catalog. Maybe they'll have young Master going forward.
Careful, this sentence could end you up in trouble.
Yeah.
It's packed with double entendres, and quite frankly, there could be a carry-on movie about to happen. We don't want that. We don't. There's only one good carry-on movie, and that's Carry On Sergeant.
So 1971 was a great year for lots of reasons. 1971 was a great year.
Oh, hang on a second. Was that when you were born?
It might have been. So honestly,
Don't you know?
I get to that age where it's not important. It's not important. So 50 years of the Master, I still think that doesn't sound right. I think they've done a bit of their maths wrong. It can't be 50 years.
I know.
But anyway, no, absolutely great stuff. Big Finish, well done. Again, faultless. I thought it was really, really good.
No, I totally agree. All of you have just basically put into words thoughts that I couldn't be bothered to put into words. Thank you. Yes, it's a great one, this one. Buy the limited edition. All right, it's got quite a few extras on there. Now, we're not going to have a serious look at them because I've said to the boys, listen to the main Masterful thing. If you want to listen to the rest of it, feel free. But, we're not going to... but the one thing I will is Terror of the Master. It's a 3-hour audio book narrated by John Coleshaw. It's brilliant. It's absolute 3 hours. Really? Was it really 3 hours? Carl Shaw's just his Delgado is a hell of a lot better than it was on Sophie's story. It's more nuanced, and I'm hoping this is recorded afterwards because he's moving it and working with it and forming it properly. Then he's got Pertwee, then you've got the Brig, and you've got vague resemblances to Benton and Yeats. Not impersonations, but there's enough there to make you recognise the characters. And it's a great story. That's all I'm going to say. So buy the limited edition, because, I mean, what's it? You've got a 3-hour full cast audio. You've got a 3-hour audio book. And there's also a couple of other short trips. Geoffrey Beaver's And You Will Obey Me, I think it's called.
Yeah, he's written and performed that one himself.
Yes, it's a very odd one as well. It's he breaks the fourth wall there, and I can't remember what the other one is. Oh, that's silly of me. So yeah, if you want Masterful, get the limited edition. It is worth it, very much so. So thumbs up.
Do again. That was perfect.
Hey, we're 2 for 2 here. We're doing well. I sense it coming to a shuddering 3-episode halt.
Yes, we've ascended the mount. It's all kind of downhill from here.
This is the beginner's slope of that downhill. That's the thing that worries me. We're on to the tomorrow people here, boys and girls.
I'll strap my skis on for this.
What was the episode called, Bray?
Into the Unknown.
Into the Unknown, in which the tomorrow people jaunt up to a spaceship which gets sucked through a whole swirly thing in space where they do nothing. And then it comes out the other side from another swirly thing in space in roughly the same position. And
it's the same swirly thing in space.
Yeah, and basically...
all explained by a belt. It was the whole premise of it was explained by a belt.
It's 3 episodes of...
And they're going to make the alien's hair have been knit into caps.
The first episode is Mike going, this is not fair. I need to do more. It's not fair. It's not fair. Then he gets up, and then it's nobody's listening to me. Nobody's listening to me. And then the third episode is I told you so. I told you so. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Has anybody got anything more to say about this?
Didn't we have a potential Doctor Who in this episode, or am I talking rubbish? The guy who played the guy who was piloting the ship, he played Catweasel, and he played...
Oh, Richard Belden. No, it's not Richard Belden, Geoffrey Belden.
Oh.
Originally considered for the role of the First Doctor.
Was it? Wasn't it? I'm sure in that. There's a Doctor Who link then. He basically...
he was originally... he was originally put in... obviously he was going to have to age up considerably, but he was sick to death of playing old men, which is essentially what his career has been. He turned up in Doctor Who, though, as Oregon in Creature from the Pit. If it wasn't for Tom, I'd say it was a show-stealing thing. But
even he couldn't save this. Even he couldn't save it.
Yeah, and yes, he was Catweasel.
What, you didn't like the little porta Tim? The little box Tim?
Oh dear. Dominic, did you watch this by any chance?
I watched the first episode.
Oh, you poor
we're sorry.
It's Brian. Brian wanted to do this.
No, he didn't.
Really, Brian?
Brian just wanted to finish out the damn season.
You want to finish up the season? Well, if you want to know, well, okay. What do I... Literally the first few minutes, and I was just like, what the fuck am I watching? Because it's just the most indulgent...
Welcome to our childhoods.
Oh my days.
So much explained.
I watched a lot of 60s and 70s television as a kid, but maybe not 60s and 70s intended kids television, to be fair. I just can't get over the singing. The attempted singing, the accent. It's just like so overdone. It's something of a headache. But I guess I wasn't terribly keen on it. The plot summary in itself, like with the whole singularity, black hole, It sounded very similar to a couple of Star Trek episodes that I do really like, that being Immunity Syndrome and the Folium Reb. Because one of them, they both basically involve in the Enterprise being trapped in either crew members being trapped in a pocket universe or being pulled into a singularity.
You are being incredibly charitable at putting that in the same breath as the Folium
Yeah.
Reb. You're
Did
too
you
nice,
see the
Dominic. Go
sequel
to town.
to the Folium Web in Enterprise?
Yes, I know the one you mean.
I enjoyed that one.
Very nice.
I like that a lot. That one was good.
I'm a very big Trekkie, but yeah, I probably shouldn't have compared it, should I? Pacing was slow.
How generous is that?
Yes.
I mean, I can't like these characters and the effects. They're still shit. Okay, that's me done.
That's fine.
Even Elizabeth is kind of muted in this, and Elizabeth
Yeah.
is usually the saving grace.
Bubbly,
Yeah,
but it's
she
just,
didn't
there was
get-
nothing there.
This was let's have John be the hero. John's not the hero. John's the guy who stays behind and tells everyone what to do.
Basically,
Elizabeth is the hero. Mike's the annoying new kid.
Talking
Oy,
of
oy, oy.
which, say goodbye to Stephen and Tyso time.
Yeah, what a way for them to go, and it was a case of it felt like the guy that plays Tyson, we've still got him under contract. I think we better bring him in for the end of episode 2. It was shockingly bad.
Yep. You'll be pleased to know, Dominic, that it's only downhill from here.
Wait until you get to the heart of Saga.
Actually,
Nothing-
I say this,
not-
there is a good one. It's the spy episode, and I can't remember what it's called.
It's the next episode.
Is that the one with
dirtiest
the
business.
Russian?
Yeah. Russian
Yeah,
telepath.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah,
That is a good
it's
one.
it's the episode we review next. The dirtiest business.
I kept thinking the deadliest weapon, but of course that was earlier. Right, so can we please move on?
I
from
have
this?
my reservations about the spy episode, though.
That's fair. We'll come to that next week. Okay, let's move away quickly from the Tomorrow People.
Let's all jaunt.
We've had our. We've been tickled by it for the first 3 or 4 series. Now it's. Oh, now we pay the price.
A producer that can't be annoyed anymore. Let's base it around the teen heartthrob.
I've bought the book Scarred for Life, which I'm slowly going through. You can't.
Oh, I'm going to get that. Volume 2's out recently. isn't it, as well?
740 pages, this thing. And I was looking at the entry for the Tomorrow People, and Price basically was trying to shut the program down at the end of the Revenge of Jedediah. That's why it ended the way it did. But Tim said, no, we want more. So they did. Right then. So,
Well, if you notice, there's a lot less. How can I put this? Young boys in disco clothes in the following seasons.
Yeah.
however, there are walking dildos.
There are.
Yes, voiced by Zippy.
Yes. And we've just broken Dominic.
And Big Finish actually got Roy Skelton in to voice them for the Tomorrow People audio series, which I wish I could get hold of. And I've got on hard
Oh,
drive.
same
somewhere.
here. Same here. I wish they were still available.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so they're testing out their new spaceship, seeing if they can drive it properly, and they discover. This isn't the Tomorrow People, by the way. It's Blake 7. I'm sure somebody would have. Actually, nobody would have. No one ever leaves any comments. I suspect it's a case of, I really can't be bothered to even hurl abuse at these people. We have such an impact. Yes, and there's a ship, tiny little ship, and so the Liberator carefully brings it on board. And at the same time, Blake wants to start fighting against the Federation. So him and Villa and Avon teleport down to Cygnus. No, not Cygnus Alpha. Sorry. Not Ceti Major. Surian Major, I think. And encounter Callie, an Auron, who's telepathic. Sort of. When it's convenient.
Not a very good telepath, is she?
And the whole idea is to blow up the place. And they're relying on a Liberator to teleport them back out before the bombs go off. Unfortunately, this ship is a life support ship. And the people in it are complete and utter bloody nutters. And Jenna and Gan, who have been left on board Liberator, have got to somehow fight them off. I say Jenna and Gan. We discover that
Jenna.
Gan can't kill people, which does actually surprise me. Why can't he just punch them? That's not killing them. You know? So it's a bit, what does his limiter do and allow and not allow sort of
He
thing?
was fighting the week before.
It's the same kind of ship they put in Spike's head.
Yeah. This is Time Squad, and it's a good, solid story, quite frankly. Nothing spectacular, nothing major, but it's a good stating of what's going to be happening for the rest of the series. You know, this is the first time they're going somewhere to take on the Federation. We like this one. Decide which one of you is going to go first.
I'll go. I'll go up. It's the story split in two. So we obviously have the siege that's taking place on board the Liberator. In terms of these nutters that they've picked up, and is it a case of they've got cloning samples so that they can actually create more of them? So there's this whole thing around the Jenna's combating that, and then it's like you said, we get the whole explanation that Gan has this inhibitor on it, prevents him from killing people. But he was actively involved in quite some big major skirmishes the week before in Cygnus Alpha, so that kind of confuses a little bit. But to me, that kind of felt tagged on, because the focus for this is the fact that we get introduced to Callie. So we have our 7th member of Blake 7, who is a telepath. Is it a case that she can project her thoughts, but she can't read them? Or
She can't. Yeah, you can't telepath to her. She can't read thoughts like that, but she can project her thoughts, or whatever is
unless you're
convenient
another telepath.
or whatever's convenient for the plot that week.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of that coming forward.
Yeah.
So, interesting character, and again, a nice, strong female to join the crew. So, and she does get involved, and she's kind of the very Leela kind of warrior woman type in terms of honour and can't go back, and is quite keen to become a member of the crew. There's the story about the explosion of the base, and this is Blake setting the stall that he's wanting to take the fight. He doesn't want to run, he doesn't want to hide, he wants to take the fight to the Federation. So I said there's nothing really much more than that in this story. It's solid. It sets scene for an introduction of a new character. We get some background in Gan. They discover more about the ship, and it's like kid me was like I would have just wanted them to stay in the ship and find out more of what the ship actually does. But no, again, good solid story. Really enjoyed it, and it kind of sets its stall for what's going to come in future weeks. So no, it was really good.
Fair enough. Dominic.
Well, yeah, this was basically the first episode of Blake 7 that I've basically ever watched in my entire life.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
goodness.
not had the liberty of ever indulging in it in my.
I suppose it's
well,
it's as good a place to start as any if you're not going to start from the beginning.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there was. I know very much about its impact culturally, and of course, no doubt, thanks to Terry Nation's score and Dudley Simpson's Terry Nation's writing and Dudley Simpson's score. There we go. It did give me that sort of 70s Doctor Who vibe.
I swear I heard riffs from Genesis of the Daleks in that score.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, with all the tension as well and the received pronunciation, it was all very Doctor Who, and I really like that about it. And it was just something that definitely motivated me to keep me watching, because it's definitely most interesting, especially Avon. I found him very interesting, very slightly sinister. I don't know much about him yet. I don't know much about any of them yet. But
do you have any scenery that needs chewing?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I got to throw to him.
Good. Series 4, here we come.
But yeah, like, I guess, admittedly, the episode isn't necessarily the best one to start off on for a new viewer. Because I was a bit like, what's going on? What's going on? I guess. Well, for me personally, but I mean, you said it was probably the best to start off on in terms of just being introduced.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just trying to really just get the measure of it. I did find myself rather quite engrossed in it though, and even though, because despite the consequence of joining so late, which is my own fault, so I can't begrudge the show. But it's certainly an iconic piece of British sci-fi, and I just love that. I just love the whole atmosphere about it. It's just so Doctor Who, and I just love that.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, and I got a shout out to the gladiatorial gear of the villains as well. It was very
Jenna grappling with hairy men.
yeah, nice and cheap. But I did like as well the whole touch of the what defines sentience at the end. You know, can't count this robot part of the crew. But yeah, it was a great show. I really, really liked it.
Oh, I'm pleased about that. Oh, that's cool. It's Seek, Locate and Destroy next, I think, isn't it? Introducing the antagonists, including one of the greatest villains you'll ever see on the small screen.
Oh my!
If you do get the chance, go back and watch the early first couple of episodes, though, Dominic, because it just sets it all.
introduces-
It sets it all up.
It's
Warning,
Doctor Who,
it's dark.
but it's Doctor Who for an adult audience.
It is very dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, Scarred for Life. Remember what we were saying when we looked at the way ahead? The way back. And we mentioned about the kids having those thoughts put in their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, they picked up on that as well. It's dark. Anyway, come on then, Brian, do talking. Come on, Brian. You've been loving it so far.
Woof.
We're doing this for you, Brian.
No, I love this. This was fantastic. This
You've
was
got to say you
great-
loved it, even if you don't love it. You've got to say it because you're terrified we start bringing Ashes to Ashes back into the mix.
It's there.
A little bit. No, this was great. They're on a planet. They get attacked by some telepathic chick who's a crappy telepath. And she is. Come on.
She's better than Deanna Troy.
She is better than Deanna Troy.
I mean, I can read feelings. Like
Empath.
Lady,
you
I
see.
would let drive the spaceship. Troy, not a chance in hell.
Well, no, she's fucked the Enterprise up twice so far.
Exactly.
Every time
She
she's got
cannot
behind.
drive a spaceship whatsoever.
No, and the planet's being bombarded by asteroids. Captain, I feel great pain and distress. Really, you
Really?
stupid
What makes
Beta
you
Z
think
tut.
I think I can read facial expressions. I think I can tell when somebody's angry. It's quite.
Yeah.
I'm not an empath. Or maybe I am. Don't know.
You're Scottish, of course you're empathic.
Well,
You
Scotland were always
basically,
angry.
your empathy is putting your two heads together so you can share brain things really quickly. Often results in a broken nose.
Ah.
Yeah.
But we
Guess
get
what?
to
But
see
angry.
Jenna, being the hero. 'Cause
Yes,
it's not for
wasn't it
her.
nice?
It was awesome. It was fantastic. And we find out Gan has the same chip that Spike did in Buffy season 4, where he can't hurt people.
Convenient.
It is. It really is. But he gets the shit kicked out of him every chance that they
Yes,
get.
that's true. That is very true.
And then we see the chick animosity.
Ooh.
The looks that Jenna gave Telepath Girl
Callie, you mean?
when she came on board, that whole icy death glare. Oh my god.
You
I'm
think
sure-
so? Do you think there can be only one?
I'm thinking, she's like, this is my ship. These are my boys. You bitch.
Would you claim would you claim ownership to those boys?
I would throw those boys out the airlock, honestly.
Exactly. So we move to the question of the week: freedom fighter or terrorist?
Yes. This week it's
That's
freedom
cheating.
fighter.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Freedom fighter.
This week is freedom fighter. Maybe next week is terrorist. We don't know. Let's see how we do at the end of this season. We'll tally up all the marks and see which one plays out more.
Actually, I'm waiting for the end of season 2 for that. That's where this question is heading.
Ah.
Ah.
Oh.
Yes. Which really screws me up because I've no idea what I'm going to ask for Series 3 and 4.
Avon.
Is Avon a
Captain
loony?
Material or pure asshole?
Is he a loony?
No, we already know he's loony.
Ribena, if you watch this, I could do some more of these. I go through them God knows how many a day. It's about the only thing I can drink now. Don't ask me why. Saves on milk, though. And coffee and sugar. Cheers. Lovely. And I've been eating an awful lot of Camembert. And I mean an awful lot of Camembert.
Cheese.
Cheese. It's French
Oh,
soft cheese.
right, yeah. Oh,
Well, sort of
bacon,
soft
yeah.
cheese. And I've discovered Sainsbury's goat milk Camembert doesn't last as long, which is brilliant because the best way of eating Camembert is for it to be running off the place and smelling like dying cabbage. Then you eat it.
I think I know why you haven't been feeling well.
I have been eating a lot of them, but I was feeling like this months ago, so I hadn't been eating any there. The only problem I've got, of course, now we're in lockdown, is getting a delivery. Can't get them for love nor money. I'm trying to work out how I'm going to get the next lot of shopping, if I'm honest with you.
You have lockdown, we have riots. It's all good.
You have to try and do something bigger, don't you? You've always got to try and top somebody.
It's not my fault. I'm trying over here.
Yes,
These freaking
yes, you are.
idiots don't listen.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the Biden presidency is going to go. I don't think it's going to be as easy as some people think it's going to be.
They've already intercepted chatter that they're going to try to pull some kind of violent riot again at the inauguration.
Oh,
It's all Antifa's fault, though, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's all these people putting out messages showing how they're preparing for it and everything else like that, but it was Antifa.
It's all Antifa. Yeah, Antifa was impersonating the QAnon guy and
That's
everything else.
Jamiroquai. There's a great thing on Facebook. It's a case of when the acid wore off, Jamiroquai realised his new album launch had gone a bit too far.
I'm just waiting, honestly. You know what the secret Antifa plan is? Kick
It's got
back,
something to do with milkshakes, isn't it?
watch the Republican Party eat itself alive.
Yep.
Have milkshakes.
Have milkshakes. Yeah.
I've heard some people be going on about how people who stormed the Capitol were Antifa disguised as Trump supporters. I'm just like,
Yeah.
The level of
They've had congressmen and senators say that.
it's not just that they've had they've had members of the House, of Congress. They've actually had members help them get in.
The West Virginia state legislator guy, he helped. He was at the riot and did some storming. He's now resigned.
good.
I
As he
believe
should.
he's going to be arrested soon.
Yeah.
I think they're looking at trying
should
to
be
put
arrests
Ted
being
Cruz.
made
They're
for
looking
conspiracy.
into the Capitol Police who let them in
Yeah.
and took selfies with them and
Apparently,
showed them where all the offices are.
Apparently,
Why?
I read a piece. It was witness reports from 2 black cops, basically saying that they weren't given. They knew something was going to happen, but they weren't given guidance. They weren't told to bring their gas masks, and basically, it was a complete lack of anything
And
from above.
The National Guard was delayed 2 hours from responding.
That's what you do when you try and stage a coup.
Yeah, that was a statement.
Not entirely certain what it was actually saying, to be honest with you.
Well, there's a quote that I saw going around Twitter, but I think it's slightly relevant. It's the volume is more crucial than the message.
Oh, hasn't that always been the case?
Mm.
He who shouts loudest wins.
Yeah.
I said this when I was watching it. If this was a BLM or Antifa
agreed.
event,
That would have been a massacre.
they would within the
Yeah.
first hour they would have been 6 magazines deep on rubber bullets
Yeah.
already.
Mm.
Tear gas, the lot. Yeah,
Tear
absolutely.
gas, rubber bullets, the whole deal.
It would not have been good.
No.
I can't believe. I mean, he stood there in front of the White House and said, "We're going to go down there and do this. I'll be with you." He wasn't.
Of course not. He doesn't do.
And
stuff
the thing
like
is,
that.
what these people that he's based
He
on
has
realize
minions for
he
that.
he doesn't care about them at all. They are a
No.
tool, and that is it.
Oh no, he loved
The
them all.
minions.
He told them to go home now. I love you all, but let's just go home. And then was it the day after they were reprehensible and it was disgraceful and nothing to do with him?
Mhm.
It's just, he's a monster. He's an absolute monster.
He's
There's
trying
a
too hard to
lot
be a
of them-
comic book villain, and it's not fucking
monster.
working.
A lot of them are feeling betrayed. The others
Yeah.
are saying that go home now, but it's reprehensible, whatever, was a message from QAnon. And I'm tangled up in wires again.
You're trying to become one with the Matrix.
I know, Terror of the Autons, man.
Oh dear. Do you have daffodils? Are there daffodils in your house?
Oh, it would be nice. I love daffodils.
Are they we
They're
can
not
get you some
plastic ones.
plastic ones. Totally safe.
I
Don't
am
get too close to
absolutely
the radio.
sure. As long as you don't use polynestine. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you,
There
who's
goes
going to
my
buy a
plan.
chair, a black plastic chair like that? You did very well, by the way. You didn't mention the chair. And poor Mr. McDermott. You also did very well. In fact, I'm going to award you each a lolly because you didn't mention the phrase "the unit family," which
Yeah.
What
you would
about
have
the
been
cling
justified
wrap
in
that
using.
almost killed Joe?
Yeah.
That's not as well known a trope, to be fair.
Okay.
I use the word trope. I've no idea if I used it in the right context or not. It's just it's a word I heard. Thought I'd try it out.
I think you're right.
Thank you. See, this is why we have brains on the show now. As I said to him on Twitter, he's the only one of us who can string a sentence together.
That's fair.
Yeah. What's coming up next this week? Have we got anything? I don't know what's Big Finish is coming out this week. Yeah, so I have no idea if we'll be doing a Big Finish or not. So
We could always do the second masterful story.
What, Terror of the Master?
Yeah. I mean, there are 3 stories in the thing.
Okay, we'll do that. If you're happy to do that. I mean, it's a different thing. It's it's an audio book rather than but
Well, no,
it
there's,
rattles by.
Yeah.
So we do Terror of the Master. We're going to be looking at Warrior's Gate, Series 18, which I know I said we were going to look at this week, but when I realised we were doing Masterful and it's 50th anniversary of the Master, I thought, fuck that, Terror of the Autons. Eddie's dead again.
Oh, I'm just
No.
writing it all down. I don't write it down, I forget it.
The Most Dangerous Business, or whatever it is, from the Tomorrow People.
Dirtiest.
Thank you, yes, that one. And Seek, Locate and Destroy, I believe, the next Blake 7 episode.
Okay, so what Doctor Who are we doing next?
Warrior's Gate,
Warrior's Gate. Okay,
Warrior's
just
Gate.
typing that into my.
Series 18.
Yes, I remember that one well. Oh no, I gotta say goodbye. Okay.
Yeah, we're nearly finished Series 18. I've got to decide where we're going to go with that afterwards.
Gate.
I think we might do Trial of a Time Lord. We haven't done Trial of a Brian, did we do Trial of a Time Lord? We didn't, did we?
No, we haven't done
You
Trial of the
haven't.
Time Lord. No.
Okay, we'll do one a week after we finish with Series 18.
Okay.
Big 7 Seek, Locate and Destroy, was it? Or was that Tomorrow People?
No, that was Blake 7.
Terror of the
Moral
Master.
people, it's Mike Goes to a Disco we're doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike goes to the disco, finds a Russian girlfriend who speaks perfect English
Ski.
with an accent.
Ski.
Oh, blimey, strike a like.
Was loving a duck ever legal?
Hopefully not. That shouldn't really do.
Oh, bloody love a duck, governor. What?
But more freedoms.
That came up in another show.
More freedoms.
Me and the Imagine Missus are watching Deadbeat. Have you watched it, Brian? Deadbeat. It's
No.
kind of like it's it's on Amazon. It's pretty good. It's about a guy that's hapless, sees ghosts.
See, I haven't been able to really. My viewing has been limited at work lately because everybody came back from holiday and broke all their shit.
Forgot how to plug things in. Forgot how to turn it on. Forgot the passwords.
Yeah. Stuff like
Dear
that.
oh dear.
And yeah. Plus, I was waiting 3 weeks for one department to do one freaking job. Reset a goddamn password. 3 weeks since Christmas. I finally had to send them a nasty gram.
A nasty gran. Is
Well,
this one with their
semi-nasty
teeth out
gram.
and, you know,
Someone had to.
not bothering to get dressed for the day?
More along the lines of, hi, I've sent a couple emails. You guys have been ignoring it. Do your fucking jobs and reset this password. Thank you.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and work out which word was left out.
I say
It
two.
wasn't
Thank
fucking.
you.
I'm sure there was something coming up this week. That's the trouble. Time has lost its meaning.
Was there not a 10th Doctor, 5th Doctor? Or is that further down the line?
That's further down the line, I'm afraid, love.
Damn, Dr. Peter, that's this year now. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
And then 10th Doctor, 6th Doctor next year,
Hang on a moment.
which I'm looking forward to more, to be fair.
Let's have a quick look at Big Finish. There we go.
I assume you all heard about the Torchwood story with the 10th Doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's going to be interesting.
I'm looking forward to that one, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little bit of a skeptic when it comes to the 10th Doctor takes over Big Finish, but that one does sound pretty...
It sounds good.
Mm.
It sounds like it's not going to be anything near kidified,
Mm.
and that's going to be awesome.
Right.
Proper raw and gritty.
Okay. The next thing I can see is the Bernie Summerfield audiobook, The Tree of Life. Then we got Volume 1 of Space 1999. Because they basically did Breakaway and Black Sun as one story. And now it obviously did very well, so it looks like having two stories from them in a box set or something. After that, Time Lord Victorious, Echoes of Extinction with McGann and David Tennant. That should be interesting.
Ah.
You know what I've been rewatching lately? ER with Alex Kingston.
Yeah.
Not Life on Mars.
No,
Oh, okay.
no. It doesn't have Alex Kingston. Does it have Alex Kingston?
No, I don't believe it does. I think you could be right.
No.
Could go back
So-
and watch it again and find out.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
Are you sure?
I'm good. I checked
We
it
could
out on
double-check.
IMDb.
Okay. We could go through Ashes to Ashes to see if she turns up in that.
I checked it out on IMDb.
You are a very worrying man.
Yep.
You're a prevert.
Yep.
Yep. Yes.
But no, ER. It was good. It was really good.
It made Clooney, didn't it?
It made Clooney. It made Noah Wiley.
Who?
Carter.
Built the ark.
Carter.
Remember?
What, from SG1?
No. Carter from ER.
Yeah, I
The
don't.
librarian.
No, I don't watch ER.
You really should.
It's not my sort of thing.
Are you
watch
sure?
hospital dramas. We've got
Yeah.
Casualty and we've got that other thing.
Holby City, the spin-off.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
Never watched any of them.
It's not really my sort of thing, I'm afraid.
Watched some Elsewhere. I don't know why. I think that was because of McCarthy.
It did have a slight twist to it, and Elsewhere did.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
when they ended up going to the Cheers bar. But basically, the two networks collaborated. So the surgeons from St. I can't remember. St. Elsewhere, of course. Oh, dear God. Ended up after a shift going for a drink, and they end up with Frasier and Norm and Coach and everyone else like that. Nice touch. Never seen it. Wish I had.
I never saw it either.
But yeah, it was a little bit odd like that. St. Elsewhere. It was a little bit quirky. Anyway, we've been going for 1 hour 20. You're supposed to congratulate yourselves for that.
Yay.
Well done, you.
Yay.
Oh God, Dominic sounds dead already. So say goodbye, and we'll go away.
Say goodbye and we'll go away.
Say goodbye.
Say
We'll
goodbye,
go away.
We'll go away.
We've infected him.
This isn't getting old, is it? No, not at all. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
Goodbye, and remain indoors.